There's a story recently of a high schooler in Baltimore who was misidentified as having a weapon by his school's AI security system. And then he ended up surrounded by 8 police cars with at least one gun pointed at him. This little boy was traumatized. The principal, who was ultimately responsible for improperly escalating the call, didn't even reach out to apologize. It's always this part that really pisses me off. When John Crawford was killed on site at Walmart by overzealous police who were tipped off by a lying 911 caller, you would have expected Walmart's PR department to issue a statement, to apologize to the family, send flowers, something, but there was nothing. I didn't shop at Walmart for years because of this. Telling my extended family the story that hadn't graced their news channel, let alone their social media feed. In all the police murders that I cataloged one year, I saw only one story where a family was personally visited or apologized to, and that was from then New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. That was the most decent move that I had seen to that point, not only because he showed concern for the loss of life, but also because he visited these people in their home like decent people do. He walked up the same stairs where police chased Ramarley Graham. Ramarley Graham, who was just trying to get home, touch base, and be safe from a deadly game of running from the police. He was chased by police into his own building, into his own home, to cowering in his own bathroom, only to still be killed by police over a suspected marijuana possession. But in most other cases, families were not only ignored, but often disdained, and their loved ones criminalized. There's an obvious coldness when it comes to Black lives, and that's why the hashtag and idea behind the Black Lives Matter movement was what it was, despite the organization of the same name and its spurious leadership. Now, this story is framed in the headlines as the fault of AI. But like in the case of John Crawford, it really was human bias to blame. So here's a basic list of facts of what happened. Baltimore County Public Schools uses a system called OmniAlert AI gun detection, and they've been doing this since 2023. OmniAlert forwarded a suspicious image to the high school safety personnel. My questions start here. Did OmniAlert adequately communicate the misidentification rates before installing these systems? If you go to their website, there is an entire white paper that says a computer can never be held accountable. Therefore, a computer must never make a management decision. So I kind of feel like, but people don't always read white papers. We don't know if the salesman mentioned this when he was selling this system to the school. Maybe they were just making big claims like the Evolve company, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Baltimore County Public Schools Superintendent Dr. Miriam Rogers said that the school system installed OmniAlert in 2023 and that it was operating properly. She said the program did what it was supposed to do, which was to signal an alert and for humans to take a look to find out if there was cause for concern at that moment. Now that's what this system is designed to do. Send an alert if something looks suspicious, and then humans have to verify. Once this image was forwarded, the Departments of School Safety and Security reviewed the image and canceled the alert, determining that it was a false positive. They followed the protocol. Now, here's where the failures began. The principal, for an unclear reason, she was either unaware or she ignored the cancellation. Principal Kate Smith then independently contacted the school resource officer. The second failure came with the SRO, school resource officer. They apparently also did not review the image independently to verify if it was a real threat. Third failure comes with law enforcement. Once law enforcement was contacted, the police officers just swarmed up on the kid, detained him, handcuffed, reportedly with guns drawn. They also didn't check the image. Now let's listen to the body cam.
Where does this call come from?
It's the OmniAlert.
Is it a bag or something?
After taking a closer look,
there's bags of chips and blue. Well, for me, that's what it looks like right here.
Here's the issue. As problematic as I find AI-enabled surveillance systems in schools, this is 100% a human failure. This was 100% human bias that only looked at a black body and completely ignored that the shiny thing that would only take a few seconds to determine was not a weapon. Law enforcement treated the SRO's report as a confirmed threat without independent visual verification, leading to an extreme and potentially fatal response based on a canceled alert. OmniAlert system is operating all around the country. It detects visible weapons, but it can't do anything to detect hidden weapons. A deadly school shooting occurred in Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee, that had OmniAlert in place. Their response, quote, "Our technology can only identify what the camera sees, and we emphasize that AI gun detection is one layer of a comprehensive security strategy that always includes human oversight and other safeguards," end quote. Other schools are employing AI-enabled systems like Evolve, which the FTC recently took action against, that are able to see through backpacks to identify weapons and drugs. Other systems detect quote-unquote aggressive behavior along with weapons, while others activate only when a hard lockdown is placed. None of these systems are perfect. Most have failed in at least one incident, and all are capable of false positives, and therefore the human element is key. We definitely have to work to fight bias built into AI. In the meantime, we have to be able to manage the built-in bias. This has to come with accountability and liability. Otherwise, every school system with an AI security system is sitting on a legal time bomb without a human-in-the-loop verification chain. AI is only one layer of security. It can't be a standalone solution. Policy is the layer that can be managed. The Public Justice Center has been paying close attention to this story, and they've demanded an independent investigation, termination for those responsible, and a decrease in surveillance investment in favor of social-emotional learning. PJC's executive director, Kalila M. Harris, said, quote, "In an era where the federal government has all but eliminated the civil rights functions of the U.S. Department of Education, ceasing to investigate civil rights claims or collect the necessary data to disrupt unfair treatment of students, it is critical that the state of Maryland holds school districts accountable for protecting children's civil and human rights." I 100% agree on all counts. If we aren't going to be able to seek federal protection because the Office for Civil Rights at the Department of Education has been shut down, culpability comes down to the state. But this is where it can also start to get weird. As states begin to establish more divides in their approach toward discipline, curriculum, funding, and now AI-enabled surveillance, we may see the creation of subsystems that are openly hostile to families of color, which will then lead to large migration patterns and subsequent overpopulation in other areas. This is why we have to direct these AI conversations towards liability. When we talk about gun violence in schools, we see millions being spent to detect that one incident, rather than just employing meaningful additions to school staff that can also support many students in the process, and not just those in crisis. There are many ways gun violence in schools is measured. It might be measured by what actually constitutes a school shooting or who exactly is a victim. But in general, we can break up the existing data into a few different categories. Because not all school shootings are mass indiscriminate shootings like Columbine, nor are they just related to gangs and crime. More often it boils down to personal conflicts or retribution, and then more often than you think, suicide. Almost all school shootings were 100% preventable without such easy access to guns. And probably a great number wouldn't exist with better access to mental health care in schools and less criminalization. 1.7 million students are in schools with police, but no counselors. 3 million students are in schools with police, but no nurses. 6 million students are in schools with police, but no school psychologists. 10 million students are in schools with police, but no social workers. 14 million students are in schools with police, but no nurse, no counselor, no psychologist, or social worker. 90% of students are in public schools that fail to meet these standards. 90% of students in public schools have police, but not the other necessary health aides, health and mental care aides, social workers, school psychologists, nurses, and counselors. I found that the presence of student resource officers had no positive effect on school-related shootings, and in some cases, crime increased with their presence. Think about it like this. The little suburban kid who would have went home with a suspension a couple years ago for an after-school tussle now gets street cred because he got arrested when he got into the same fight. Most schools can handle interpersonal scuffles with proper student support teams. SROs are now nearly ubiquitous, and they often make more money than counselors. I recently subbed at a school with an Evolve metal detector system, and there were at least 3 other people required to man these detectors, which were present on 2 sides of the school. So that's 6 additional salaries. Even if they're part-time and low wage, that's still 6 more people that need to be hired to implement the system. Only 3 states in our country are meeting the recommended student-to-counselor ratios. Only 3. We have 50 states. Just let it sink in. Also in this country, 72% of children will have experienced at least one major stressful event in their life. Those stats should be a wake-up call that our children are indeed in crisis. I don't think the answer lies in policing and security, but I recognize that SROs and metal detectors are not going anywhere. They make people feel better. If you're to ask me what the answers are, I'm a huge proponent of socio-emotional learning. And this is more than just the cutesy SEL stuff we're seeing in public schools. It's not a set-aside. It has to be infused. When we read literature or study history, we need to present information in a way that highlights where empathy plays a role. However, empathy education, just for the sake of empathy, should not be excluded. Activities that help student populations break down barriers between their differences could be hugely impactful. One of the main problems in society now is fragmentation. People are becoming increasingly divided. I have a theory about humans and division, but I'll save that for another post. In Western society, individualization even further exacerbates that division. If we don't teach children how to find common ground, how to diffuse conflict and control their emotions, we're going to continue to see violence in schools, high suicide rates, bullying, and all the other plagues of today's schools. I also believe that schools today should be smaller. I'm talking everyone knows everyone type small. Your kid messes with my kid, I know you. We can talk. You know, when admins don't know their students, everyone is a threat. When everyone knows everyone, the ability to diffuse becomes a lot easier. Some people in America actually think that the idea of empathy is a waste of time or some made-up concept. While empathy is a new word to the English language, it isn't some new age concept. Humans have always recognized their ability to see themselves in others. It's a quality we share with a limited part of the animal kingdom and part of what makes us unique creatures in this world. But again, I know my hippie perspectives don't have a voice as loud as the bark of a security dog. And that's why I decided to create a policy compliance generator, a unique system that forces policy output into a litigation-aware, auditable framework. It ensures that every single protocol step has a responsible party assigned and a clear verification chain. If we strip away branding and buzzwords, the Baltimore incident makes one thing abundantly clear. AI did not put a gun to that child's head. People did. A system threw up an alert, humans ignored the cancellation, and then layer after layer of adults chose to treat a Black teenager as a confirmed threat rather than a child holding a bag of chips. That's not a tech glitch. That's a policy failure plus human bias with AI as the catalyst. The same pattern shows up everywhere we plug AI into human lives without accountability. From school gun detection systems to chatbots that sit with people in their darkest moments, we keep pretending that the algorithm is the problem, when the real issue is who designs it, who oversees it, and who is liable when it harms people. As long as AI is sold as a frictionless fix instead of a tool that must be constrained by policy, law, and ethics, Black children and other vulnerable communities will keep absorbing the risk. Schools don't just have a technology problem, they have a priorities problem. We're pouring millions into surveillance infrastructure while millions of students attend schools with police but no counselor, no nurse, no psychologist, no social worker. We're normalizing lockdown drills while cutting the very positions that help kids process trauma, resolve conflict, and learn empathy in the first place. When I think about programs like peer counseling in my own high school, I'm reminded that it wasn't metal detectors that diffused tension. It was students trained to listen, supported by adults who took the time to care. And that's why any district talking about safety and AI needs more than a vendor demo. It needs an auditable, litigation-aware policy framework that forces humans to slow down, verify, and be accountable. That's what my PCG is designed to do. Break every protocol into clear steps, assign a responsible party to each one, and create a human-in-the-loop verification chain that can be tested, audited, and defended in court. AI becomes one layer in a system that is governed by people and not the other way around. The first step to stopping the legal time bomb is to diagnose a vulnerability. If your school is already using AI-enabled security or considering it, you should know exactly where your protocol can fail and who is on the hook when it does. The protocol failure audit is one way to start. A practical tool to surface the most critical gaps in your security protocol so you can fix them before they become your next headline. At the end of the day, school safety should not mean children on the ground surrounded by guns or kids learning to walk in single file through metal detectors while their emotional lives go unattended. It should mean students are known, supported, and protected by adults who are trained to see their full humanity first. AI will continue to shape the next chapter of education, but whether it does as a tool for care or a weapon of control is still a human decision. If you're an educator, parent, or administrator trying to navigate that choice, audit your district's protocol, ask harder questions of your vendors, push for counselors and social workers with the same urgency as cameras and scanners. And if we can reclaim even 1 hour a day to teach empathy, to let students practice seeing each other as fully human, we may prevent more harm than any AI system ever could. As a last and final note, I encourage everyone to look into the LEAD Act. I'll put a link for it here. The LEAD Act is one of the best, most comprehensive bills on the table right now to begin to build in that accountability layer for AI developers and vendors. So it's something that we really, really need. We have no safeguards in place now. There are a few states that have things on the books, but on a federal level, we have nothing. And we need, so call your Congress people. That's your representatives and your senators. Call them, email them. Those are like one of the most simple things that we can do, but also very powerful because they need to know that people care about this, that people are worried about this, and that's going to make them give it more attention.